What's going on, guys? Welcome to Off the Ropes. We are live here at Off the Ropes Studio with George.
And Julian, of course, we're in the studio.
We're in the studio, guys. So welcome. This is kind of new. One of the studios here in my garage, but we have another studio in the works. We're going to be posted up at the barbershop with our good friends. So we got some stuff that we're still working on. So right now we're
Coming
just trying
along.
some
It's
things
coming
out.
along.
Yeah, we're just trying some things out, and I'm sure this is gonna work out well. And we're excited to be back. Speaking of back, Julian, I mean, we talk to each other pretty much every day through text
Yeah.
message. What's going on with you, man? What's new in life? I mean, besides
Work,
boxing.
work, bro. I mean, starting up this paint company, and just trying to keep busy now, bro. Now it's just off to the races now, but I just been tired, bro. Like, it's a tiring thing, opening a business, doing your thing and painting a lot of houses, tell you that right now, and just keeping me on my toes. What about you, man? How's the mind treating you?
I mean, I can't complain. We're busy. A lot of changes. Not too bad with changes, but there's gonna be some changes going on. Who knows? I might have a change of schedule. I might go straight to days. It's not for sure yet, but that's kind of in the works. If I do,
Be
the cool
good.
thing about it is I'm working 410s. I have 3 days off. But I mean, I'm used to working the night shift, so it's 12 hours that we work. I'm still gonna bust out 412s, get some overtime, and still have the 3 day weekend
Yeah,
working
hell
days.
yeah. Why
Yeah,
not? Why not? That's the mind for you.
hey, for
So,
sure. All right, shout out real quick. I see some people already in the comments. Joey, what's up? Run, my brother. What's up? This guy too.
yo.
Julian, I'm gonna go ahead and put you on the Chicano text thread that we got. Run PMC's in there. We got Chicano, we got Nopal, and we talk boxing, of course.
Heck
Same like
yeah,
how
that's
me and you
always
do.
good.
I always bring you up until I'm like, I'm all. By the way, this fight's gonna happen via Julian. So Julian has connections. Some people. I don't know if we can say some, drop
Little,
some
little bit,
names.
little bit. Like I said, I have a buddy out of 210 Boxing TV. Brandon Walker, good dude. Brandon, shout out to you, my brother. Like very informative dude. He's been getting pretty well known here. Especially in the PVC Showtime community. Good dude. Like I said, though, he represents a lot of what boxing wants. And but like I said, it's been a good source. Not for as for myself, as for other many people too. But yeah, like I said, shout out to him. For getting stuff like for even calling things too before I like anybody else does. So
Yeah,
shout out, brother.
I can't even be mad because so far the stuff that you've been telling me, all the information, it's been pretty spot on.
It's
And
been
I
pretty.
know one.
It's been pretty potent.
I don't know if we can call me and you going back on this, but I really don't think we're going back. I think I'm just trying to protect my sanity and my excitement
I
because
think everybody is right now.
I mean, real quick, what's up, Chicano? What's up, my brother? How's it
Chicano,
going,
how you
man?
doing, my brother?
Um, yeah, let me know if you want to get on, bro. I mean, we're just gonna kind of run through some topics and stuff, some current and some past fights that me and Julian haven't really got a chance to talk about, but um,
We're keeping it current though, so
as current as can be. One we do know, we keep seeing, I don't know how true it is. There was a tweet from Mr. Terrence Crawford saying he was April fooling people. I don't know how true that is. I mean, we're seeing it all over from everybody's
every.
um,
I mean,
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Ring TV even posted that this fight is official for June 17th.
well, I mean, even like people like Dan Raphael have already shot it down. Saying that it's like the fight's going. It's made.
Okay.
That's what's coming out. That's via Dan Raphael. But there's just been a lot going on. In this boxing world right now. Like they busted our balls last year. And I'm pretty sure everybody's like doing saying the same thing right now. They busted our balls. But the fight the world's waiting for. Of course, it's all in our minds. It's what we want. If you're a big time boxing head, you know who we're talking about. We're talking about, you know, Terrence Crawford himself. We're talking about Earl Spence himself. Will this fight happen? Of course, we're going to find out. Everybody's saying as well, too, this might be announced via, the day of the Ryan Garcia tank fight. So, I mean, like I said, just so much stuff is going on right now. So, but what do we know? You know, what do we know? You know, as a, these are assumptions as of now. You know, but like I said, I mean, it just appears to be a done deal. You know, they've been doing this behind closed doors.
Yeah.
You know, for weeks now. You know, even before. You know, even after all the crap settled down and said that they weren't doing it no more. All this Thurman talk. I think Thurman's on the back burner right now in case, just in case. You know, but I just feel I this fight's gonna happen. You know, I do think it will happen. You
Yeah.
know, and I want it to happen. Please,
All of us want this to happen,
please,
man. And
Jeez Louise.
yeah, with that, it's this will be what, like the third announcement or the third time we've kind of been led on to believe that this fight was going to happen. Like I said, I know a majority of us can't get too excited. We can't get
Exactly.
behind even some very liable sources, which is fine
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I'm sure your liable source is kind of like, damn, this is making me look like I'm a liar, or but like I said, your source has been really good. He hasn't lied. He hasn't really made up any assumptions.
Yeah.
He's been pretty spot
Yeah,
on.
he's gotten pretty good. You know, he's like I said, he's in there. He's talked with these fighters too.
Yeah.
And the good thing, like you can see it in these fighters. You know what the truth is. You know what's really gonna come out. You know, so. But like I said, what's yet to come out of this fight that we want, we don't know yet.
Yeah, man. I mean, June 17th is
It's 2 months away.
It's not very long from now. That's more than enough time to get a good training camp in there.
I mean, but then too, apparently both of them have been training for the last month or two. Well, TC stays busy.
Yeah, he always stays busy.
He stays busy. Earl Spence, looked a little wild, a couple months ago. But let's see where he's at too. I haven't seen a picture of him body wise, since that one. So, I can't speak on, how serious, this is, if he's been training. Which I'm pretty sure he has, but
he has to. This is gonna
undisputed.
This is about to be the fight. This is gonna be the fight of his life.
Undisputed.
Yeah.
At 147 welterweight. This is something that Mayweather never did at 147. Put that into perspective.
Hey, dude.
Is that a lie?
It's not a lie. There's not very many guys that have gone undisputed, especially
at that division. That's the king division
in this Fort Belt era.
Mm-hmm.
We know the names. I don't know if you want to count Devin Haney. Is that like a default?
Yeah, no, you can count him.
You can count him in. Okay,
he's done. He had to face Cambosos twice to fix to pretty much put himself, in that picture. Is he at a top 10? We're gonna find out against Loma.
Yeah.
We will find out. But respect to his game. But
yeah,
like we said too. Loma didn't look too great his last fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure all of us could agree. He didn't look too great. But the guy was at war. This is his first fight back. His first fight back in 11 months. So
injuries.
Injuries. I figured the ring rust is gone.
Yeah.
Now, his fight 3 months ago, 4 months ago. That one was October, November.
I think so.
Something like that. But anyway, I think that's enough time. I think he's still been training. Of course, he's been going. He's been going, getting on. And
yeah, he's like one of those guys, just like Terrence Crawford. He always stays busy.
Exactly.
And even if it was 4 months ago, like that's still good enough time to keep yourself active. There's no inactivity.
Exactly.
And then real quick, you're right, Chicano. He says we've been let down before, but I'm allowing myself to get excited.
We said the same thing before we got on here.
we sat in here before
Literally.
we started the show, and that was like one of the topics, and that I guess the same thing too. I'm a fight fan first before anything, first and foremost. So I have to be excited, but at the same time I gotta expect the worst.
Yep.
Expect the unexpected.
Like I said, we've been let down, and hearing things too that Thurman's on the back burner too, just in case.
I don't know how true it is.
I don't know how true it is either.
But I thought I saw that Thurman is looking into like a retirement or something. Like he's kind of like he kind of like put himself out, kind of retired himself out. So I don't know how true that is, but I think as far as like Terrence Crawford and Spence,
I don't know
Crawford definitely stays ready. I was listening to Coach Malachi this morning. Shout out to Coach Malachi. Said that he's done some interviews with Terrence Crawford, and he travels a lot. He goes to California. He went to to Terrence Crawford's backyard. He got some interviews. I even seen him interview Joe Goosen. He interviewed many people, but he says Terrence Crawford says he probably walks around right now like at 155, so he's not very
easy.
far. And you can
Easy.
tell just by like he doesn't really,
Easy. Like,
yeah, he doesn't really kill himself to make that weight. And then like speaking of Floyd, Run made a good point. He says Floyd should have with Brook after Manny, and I believe that, man. At the time,
yes.
Cal Brook was a monster. He was a monster before the Triple G. I was real high on Cal Brook, and I'm like, this is gonna be the guy. Yeah, this is gonna be the guy. 147
until his face got broken in.
And dude, he had the balls to go in there with Triple G. He did well.
Right.
He did very well for a couple of rounds,
But
and
that wasn't his weight class.
that wasn't his weight class.
That wasn't his weight class.
And
Nope.
from there, it kind of just went bad.
Not at all. No, but totally agree with you. He definitely should have went after him. And that would have been a fun dance to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even like a younger Amir Khan too. In his prime. That's another one we never got. And I respect Amir Khan's game at the time because he's like one of my favorite boxers. Coming up, like growing up. Because I actually saw him in his winning times. But that's another story for later on.
Yeah, hey dude, for sure. Yeah, I mean Cal Brook, I thought he would have been the guy to give Floyd Mayweather hella problems until Floyd adjusted. But speed, length, all that would have given him so much trouble.
Exactly. Pressure. I mean that's type. That's what you do to one of those fighters. Like you have to pressure those fighters in order to win. You have to cut them off in order to win.
Yeah, and he throws them nice straight shots. So like I said, Joey here, he says, it's my first time tuning in to this live stream. I don't know much about it, but I'm listening to it. Hey, man, hopefully we make you we appreciate you definitely, man. Hopefully we can make you a boxing fan. There's many other guys on here, Chicano, Run PMC, we all kind of join together off the Al Chile crew, and we talk boxing, man, and hopefully this will make you a fan, and we appreciate it. Definitely, we were looking at your page too a little while ago, and I wouldn't mind taking a look to see what kind of streams and videos you got. But
for sure.
Thanks for tuning in, man. Hopefully you can stay for the duration of the show.
Yeah, check us out, learn a little bit about what we do, a little bit what the boxing world has to offer, coming up.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then one fight that definitely happened a couple weeks back. Like I said, me and Julian really haven't been on, but I've come on with the Al Chile crew. We've had talks about the previous fights. I never really got your input on Tim Tszyu and Tony Harrison. Like, what did you take away from this fight? Would you like?
Tim Tszyu did what he had to do in that fight to win. Tony Harrison he's not the Tony Harrison that we saw, that fought Charlo. He's not that Tony Harrison no more. But he gave Tszyu what he needed. He jabbed. Something that Tszyu really needs to learn. Is how to avoid the jab. He was taking a lot of them. And going up against fighters. Of a higher caliber. I think. He has to work on those little things moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we say, he has the power. We know he can counter. He can counter the shit out of Harrison a lot. And it's just a different. I think Tszyu, he's the future of this. He's definitely the future. 154.
For sure.
But there's plenty of others. That we could talk about too at 154. One fights this weekend, perhaps.
One that just fought a couple weeks ago.
One that just fought a couple weeks ago. For
Sus Ramos.
Yeah, Sus Ramos.
Our boy, shout out to
Mono.
Jesus.
How you doing, brother? Man, like I said, but the 154 is getting fun, bro. But let's see what does Little Charlo have to say about this? Because he's up there too.
They were supposed to. They're supposed to dance.
Supposed to dance, exactly. They're supposed to dance, but it's boxing. It's a business. We don't, like I said, some of us don't know what goes on behind the closed doors. But I feel we're gonna get these fights in the future here. And talking about the 154 division. You want to talk about Jesus Ramos fight?
Yeah. Hey, man.
I think. Joey Spencer had a lot of balls going up to that weight, bro. He should go back down definitely now.
One thing I am hearing about what Joey Spencer is, he's kind of like that in between, kind of like how I feel like Oscar Valdez is right now. Like he's He's not quite small for that division, but he
But
can't go back down.
exactly. He just can't the weight. It's just the
Yeah.
weight thing, But I mean, yeah, he had his moments, where he countered in Jesus a little bit, But like I said, Jesus is an animal. Everybody sees. I mean, we've seen how he works. We've seen how he works in the gym. It really you can see it in the ring. And he put a beating on Joey Spencer. And big ups to Joey Spencer's corner, his dad, for throwing in the freaking towel. Because that would have been like. I would look like a Creed all like in a Creed movie, Creed 3. I don't know if anybody's seen it.
I haven't
But,
seen it
I'll
yet.
just leave it at that, But like it had that feel, and just Jesus Ramos, bro. He's just a different breed. I mean, I think he's the next Mexican big thing.
Yeah, he is.
Like I mean, if you don't know his name, by that night, you found out about it.
Yeah, I would say his stock definitely went up on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Real quick, a couple people in the chat. What's up, D Styles? What's going on, man?
Hey, Styles, man.
Shout out to D Styles. Shout out to Shoe Shine. What's going on, my bro?
Oh, my goodness.
And then Chicano, we like I said, we talked about this one. Was a good fight. I'm on board, and he is. He talked about how he turned around and found himself being a Jesus Ramos fan. And again, Joey Spencer from round one. You got to give it to him though. He definitely showed some heart. He tried to survive in there. It just Ramos was on his game. Like everything was right. Angles. He was throwing shots the way he should. The left hand. Yeah. I know one thing what people is like. They might say he might be big for 154. You can't, for me, like you really can't say, because there has been guys that have been big for their weight classes throughout history, right? Tommy Hearns, speaking of one, like he was tall, long. Jesus Ramos, I mean, and one of my favorite things I hear from D Style is saying, if you can make the weight, you can make the date.
Exactly.
That's what I go by. That's
exactly. I mean, we can't say the same for the fights going on in a couple of weeks, but hey. If you can't make the weight, you can't. If you can't make it, whatever. On to the next one.
Yeah.
But I mean, who do you want to see? I mean, Jesus is just a different animal. I mean, we understand we have Fundora coming up this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Is that the Mexican showdown that we want to see?
Well, right. According to what we've been hearing.
Me, myself, that's a big one for me. I really think that'll sell a lot. That'll sell big time.
Fundora and Ramos.
Oh yeah. I believe it will, only because they're just two of Mexico's rising stars. I mean, even though Jesus trains up here in Casa Grande, it's up the street from us. His roots are from down here in Otumba, Mexico. Like where he's from. But like Fundora, Tower Inferno, we've seen what he can do. We've seen the guy too. It would just be a fight that us as fans would want to see.
Yeah, he's definitely fan friendly.
Yeah, definitely. Both of them. Both men.
He was kind of like he's like the Mexican Paul Williams. Tall, long for his weight class. He doesn't fight. He doesn't like to fight from the outside, even though he can.
Please don't make me say what Jesus would probably do to him at that point.
It's kind of scary, to believe. Like for me, that it's a fan friendly fight. Ramos don't back down. Fundora don't back down. He doesn't mind getting hit.
Yeah,
it would be a great fight.
But Fundora's been knocked down too.
Yeah,
and there's a different power game in Jesus's game. So I mean, we gotta look at that too. But that's like we say, that's another. We'll wait. We'll wait till see what Fundora has to do this weekend. We'll get on with that one a little later on.
yeah, no, for sure. We'll have a recap on that fight.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one though.
Yeah.
I think Mendoza's a good, step, for Fundora. As a, he's been pretty active too lately.
Yes.
And I think, after last week, a couple of weeks ago, and Jesus Ramos and him staying busy, I think it's just. I mean, why not?
Yeah, and like I was saying, like we've kind of heard word too that might be the next fight, Ramos and Fundora.
That'd be a beautiful fight. Like I said, I entertain it. I would entertain it.
Yeah, as fans, we're absolutely loving. That would be something we would like to see, right? But we've just kind of mentioned 154. Right now, we're looking at some names on there. Of course, you got Charlo, you got Liam Smith. Making some. Tim Tszyu, Danny Garcia's in there, but we don't know what the hell's going on with Danny Garcia.
Yeah, just keep investing.
Yeah. Xander Zayas, he's still very young. He's still very green, but he definitely wants to stay busy and stay active.
Hold on, time out. Speaking of Xander Zayas, Jai wants to fight Xander Zayas.
Oh, man. Jai Tucker, man.
Like, he
We love
wants,
that kid.
yes.
He was one of our very first interviews.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. He wants to throw down with Xander and me though, but we met Xander's ass as well too, and that dude is he's a cool cat, man. A cool kid, cool. I mean, for his age, maturity level, you know, Jay had his last fight showing out a little bit, but hey, I mean that's what he does. I mean that's what he wants to do. He wants to put on a show, but the kid could box.
Yeah, he can. He definitely can box.
He could box, man.
Yeah, like I said, you just mentioned he's a good kid. He's like super active. He's super cool to talk to. He's full of life. He's full of a lot of a road ahead of him. Especially, I know he was at 147. Now he's at 154. I will say with his style of fighting, I mean, I hate to say it, but we see it over and over. But like these guys really don't last too long, and I think that's always been Tim Bradley's critique is he does get hit a little too much. He's got to work on some defensive stuff. He was in there with a guy that wouldn't back down, and he was taking them shots. The funny thing is that I saw was
he took a lot of power.
That's gonna say the crazy thing about this guy was landing the harder punches, but Jai Tucker was like landing the combinations. There was a couple of times where it looked like if this guy followed up with, I think he got hit with like a right hand. I think like in the third round, if he followed up with a couple more shots, who knows? Maybe Jai Tucker, go down for the first time. But Jai Tucker, he's got some heart. He's got some balls. He doesn't back down. He comes forward again, fan friendly. I will say this though about like the new generation of these boxers, like they're starting to show something here,
and they're starting to get active.
They're starting to show that they want to start showing. They're showing that they want to, get the good fights, stay active, be fan friendly. I mean, you can't complain. That's all we ask for. That generation of
young fighters,
Yeah, the generation of Mayweather, that whole old keeping your old thing. I'm just can't wait till that shit goes straight out the window. It's starting to go that way.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because everybody's starting to find out who the boxers really are now, right?
Yeah, that's what it's coming down to.
Just a quick shout out to the top ranked fights this past weekend. Jesse Haro and Alfonso Olvera. You guys got down, and Flaco Peligroso. He got down. Took Tiger Johnson 8 rounds. He took Tiger Johnson 8 rounds. That was freaking crazy.
Yeah, he hurt him too in that first round.
He hurt him in the first round. So man, big ups, bro. I mean, big ups. And like I said, I've seen your career. We talked a little earlier, on Facebook. And like I said, I've seen your career. And like I said, Jesse taught me what I know. And just like big ups. It's cool seeing you guys on the top ranked card, seeing you on live television.
Yeah, and speaking of local guys here, me and Julian, we say this every time we bring up the show is we got an event coming up soon. We've been talking to vendors. We got some sponsors coming up. We got some guys that are very interested. A couple of boxing gyms here in Tucson, and we're looking to try to do something where it's Arizona versus Cali thing, man. And that would be, I think that would be super dope.
Yeah, California versus Arizona showdown. And I'm thinking all the gyms in Arizona or even in Tucson are ready to show out because, I mean, California is going to bring it too. We know they could bring the heat too, but like I said, I mean, I got something in the works right now, but it's going to be fun, and, just talking to, many of our, our friends, and the people that are going to get involved, this is going to be a fun event.
Oh, yeah. Real quick. Kind of stayed away from the comment section on accident here. We kind of got caught in our moment, but shout out to G Funky. What's going on, brother? Yeah, it's been a long time. How's it going?
Yes,
and then my brother-in-law Dre. What's going on, Dre? We just we actually kind of getting a little personal here. We just celebrated my dad's 1-year anniversary of him passing away. So Dre, thanks for showing up. We haven't seen him in a while, and it's always good to catch up with the family and stuff.
George Senior.
Yeah,
still see you, man.
For sure.
That presence.
Yeah. And then speaking of the ESPN card, we saw Jai Tucker, we saw Tiger Johnson, some of the guys from Tucson. The main event, Julian. I mean, I want to say real quick that main event, Ramirez and Dogboe was a great fight. Ramirez. I mean, Dogboe got to give it to him. He came forward. He was taking some shots, but you can see later towards the end. Ramirez was starting to pull away, and not Hunter, Dogboe's corner, was yelling at him, telling him to make some adjustments. Exactly. He couldn't really make it.
He couldn't make the adjustments at the end. I mean, Roberto Ramirez's work rate is a whole lot different than his gas tank.
Yeah,
You
he's
know,
nasty with that left
but
hand.
Robesi, he had to work for this one. I ain't gonna lie, like I mean, he really did have to work for this win. He needed to work for this win.
Hmm.
And a lot of people saw it. I mean, Dogboe was definitely disappointed, but yes, Ramirez won this fight. You know, he, just Robesi just has to work on. I would say, I mean, he's just really prone to, body, a body attack. I just feel like in that division, it's four different champions in that division. And it'll be fun. I mean, add Brandon Figueroa to the mix, and add, I mean, you have a Anuye too. I mean, coming up. So I mean, we're this division is gonna get crazy as
Yeah.
well too. Here we come. I mean, now talking about this division. I mean, we're talking about 154. I mean, now look at the featherweight division.
Look at the fights that are made.
Look at the fight.
Lara
Yep.
fighting Louis.
He's gonna
Venal's
fight Lay.
fighting.
He's gonna fight Lay again.
Yeah,
Mauricio Lara.
Venal's
That's the
fighting
second fight.
Conlon.
Yep. Gonna fight Colin, freaking El Venado, of course, Luis Lopez, Alberto Lopez, a good buddy of ours too. He's gonna fight too. He's gonna fight Michael Conlon. That should be a good one. And Michael Conlon came off of a win too. I think last in December. I think that was his last fight, I believe, or January, recent. But I know he lost the one before that against Leigh Wood.
Yeah, Leigh Wood. That was nasty.
Yeah, that was a pretty nasty knockout.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, G Funky. That featherweight division, stacked. There's plenty of names, plenty of fights.
It's too many names. I mean, you throw Robesi's name in there. I mean, everybody that's. I mean, just look what's on there right now.
Josh Warrington's still very, very competitive.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a name in the division. I mean, that's a name you want on your resume if you're in the featherweight division, especially if you can get that win over him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I could definitely see him and Lara going at it again because I mean they don't like each other.
Yeah, they do not like each other. I think that will be settled very soon.
Yeah, again, but we all know who settled it the first time.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm very impressed with Robesi. I like what I see from him. I like his counters.
He pulled out a dog. He showed the dog.
Yeah, he definitely did. And Dogboe was hella game. He was game.
Exactly.
Like he came forward. He kept it competitive. I mean, for me, I had like a couple of swing rounds early, even though Ramirez was landing the more meaningful and hurtful shots, but like Dogboe was still active. He was still coming forward. He's still trying to create some openings.
Fight again. I have to watch it again. Like watching it the first time. I mean, yeah, I give it to Robesi, of course, but that's a fight, I have to watch again. Cause like you were saying too, the early rounds, I say 2 through 5, those rounds right there could have gone either which way, but like I said, I mean, I fared off to Robesi a couple, but it's gonna be a crazy, like I said, that division, bro, like it's man, like for everybody's name on top of that list right now, I mean, you're in trouble. Like honestly, there's a target on your head. If you have a belt, there's a target on your head right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And either the champion wants it or the contender wants it. So.
Yeah, I would say moving forward, I guess with the next couple topics, we were at featherweight. We know we got the tank, and Ryan Garcia, and then there's also the Haney and Loma being official for May. That card is stacked as well. Got Oscar Valdez in there.
Then you have the Nakatani
and Motataya. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's some good stuff right there.
That's a pretty nasty freaking card, man.
Again, me and Julian always stay in contact with each other. Like, what is your thought like on this whole catch weight clause? Them fighting at 136. Ryan can't come in.
It exactly like Bill Haney said it. This is an exhibition. All right, like I'm just gonna say it that way. Like for them, they're getting paid, but like I feel what would have made this a whole lot more exciting if it was for that belt. Like why not just go the extra pound down? I mean, I understand. I mean, he could have made it. Brian Garcia could have made it.
Wait, I'm glad you're saying that because I know. Yeah, he could have.
Like I feel he could have made it, but I just feel that there's like business wise. If Tank loses, he don't lose the belt.
That's the other side of it.
Okay,
that's
very
smart.
Exactly. That's the other side of it. Okay, that's the business side of it.
Yeah.
He won't lose that belt, if he loses, and this won't go against, hey, he's lost his belt. He lost. Okay. Canelo lost, but he still has a belt at 168. I mean, so put them together. I mean, there's just too much hate going on, in two different areas, but, you know, but, I just wanted this fight to be for something, not because the zero, you have a zero, I have a zero.
Or just, I mean, of course you want bragging rights,
Yeah,
right? Because that's what it's
exactly.
at the end of the day. But
At the end of the day, that's what it is.
let's get some compensation, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Let's get paid.
put
for
your
it.
belts up. Put your belts up. Or your belt up.
Tank. But the good thing about this fight, I think it just set the tone. I think it just set the tone for bigger fights to be made coming on down the line.
Yeah, you have two different promotions.
Two different promotions, exactly. And I feel that's what these promotion companies need right now. Everybody, every single one of them. Because I mean, every single promotion company has their dog. They have their cows. And we all know who the cows are in every single one of them. But this fight right here, I mean, I don't like the catch weight. I do not. I mean, I'm glad we're getting the fight.
Yeah.
I'm happy we're getting the fight. Like I told you, I mean, this is a 50-50 fight. I understand we bet already, but still, I mean, this is a 50,
I mean, we can back out.
This is a 50-50 bet, like this is a 50-50 right now, But like I said, I mean, this whole fight is 50-50. If you don't believe it's a 50-50 fight, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But then again, we've seen Tank knows how to download information big time, but we've seen that Ryan Garcia is pretty damn fast, and he knows how to box too,
I'll give it to him.
But both of them haven't faced the opposition that they're about to face in each other.
That's a good point. I would agree. I would say
they're not. Like, this is the first time they faced a caliber of fighter of each other. I understand Ryan Garcia is young, but dude's been around.
Yeah.
Like, he's been around boxing. He knows what the hell he's doing. Like, we're not going to use this whole, like Mayweather was this age, Canelo was this age. We're not going to use that in this fight. No, because both these son of bitches are pretty much almost in the prime of their career now. Well, Tank's already in the prime.
Mm-hmm.
Garcia's ready to get in there. He's already there. Like, he's in the beginning of this prime. Who's going to win this fight? Like, I have Ryan by a slight edge, but will that change in a couple weeks? Will that change in a couple weeks? We don't know. But as of right now, just on paper, it looks that way.
Yeah,
that's on paper.
Yeah, I would say I don't think they've really faced something in each other. I mean, what they're facing in somebody else, but I will say that Tank Davis has been at this.
Yeah, he's been at this
level, and he's been in these situations. So this isn't something new. No, he's not. And yeah, you're right. He does. And the thing, I watched the first episode yesterday on for the Showtime All Access. And even though they talk a lot of shit,
they respect each other.
Tank Davis definitely respects, and he knows what he's got himself into with Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia might, be a pretty boy. He might have all these sponsors, but like he's a dog. At the end of the day, he still fights.
The son of a bitch could box.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it takes balls to get into that goddamn ring. Like, even don't give a shit. If you're gonna get into spar, I mean, get in there for 3 minutes and tell me it's not the longest 3 minutes of your life. Like, honestly, like, even the longest minute of your life.
Hey, yeah.
I mean, go two ways.
Yeah. Chicano says Julian with the upset pick. Yeah, Julian. I'll tell you this: me and Julian for the last few years, this is one of our topics.
It's kind of been going up and down because, like, we talk big ups about both guys. Because we know what both guys can do.
Yeah, yeah.
But like we said, like George said, I mean, Tank's been in the spotlight. Tank's been there. Tank hasn't fought like the biggest names that we wanted him to fight until, I would say, at this point. So now he's looking at himself in the mirror. Now Ryan Garcia is looking at himself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Thinking like, okay, like, I'm gonna win.
Yeah. G Funky brought up a point. He says Ryan is struggling to make 140. I haven't really seen anything or heard anything about that.
I saw him at 142 the other day, taking on the post. So
I've also seen where his last two fights were catch weights. They weren't officially at 140, but he came under the weight. I think it was like 138. Yeah, so it's too. For me, I feel like it might be too soon to really say if he's struggling to make 140. If anything,
he's still young. He can still lose the weight. I mean, I'd say right now is the perfect time for Tank to take this fight.
Yeah, and like I agree with you, and I've always said this. I think most of everybody will say this too. Is of course you want some kind of compensation. They should have fought. They should have fought for those belts. It is 1 pound. I do feel like Ryan Garcia could have made 135. Maybe this could have been the last fight at 135, and then move up from there. He's pretty much fought his whole career from 130 to 135. He's young. He does have a pretty big frame on him. I don't see why it would be an issue for him to drop to 135.
But then again, 140 is stacked too.
140 is
definitely stacked. I mean, we can, if you want to go talk from there, we can go on there too. But like
Yeah.
I say, that's another topic too for another dia.
Well, I mean, we kind of, we kind of already kind of brought this up, like I said.
Yeah.
So you have that fight at 135. You have the fights at 140. Speaking of 140, we got the Teofimo and Josh Taylor. So boxing, I mean, as long as these guys stay active, as long as these guys stay active and they fight who they're supposed to be fighting, giving the fans what they want, like boxing is never gonna die. It won't die. So I always squash that whole boxing is dying. MMA is better. To me, it doesn't really matter what is well. Like you can have great arguments with people that love MMA. You have the same thing with boxing. You have great topics and arguments for the boxing side. I just love boxing more. I do like the MMA fights. I mean,
I like that Puello's fighting Raleigh. I mean, that's a cool fight. That's gonna be a pretty cool one right there to see if Raleigh can do after a loss.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, just speaking of MMA, it is a rematch this weekend of Pereira versus Adesanya.
Yes.
I'm picking Pereira again to win this.
Yeah, I do too. I think Adesanya's had his time.
Hey, when someone has your number, right? Yeah. Boxing, real quick. When someone has your number.
Like they're gonna take it.
They got you.
They got you exactly. I mean, we've seen it.
Yeah, this is a psychological thing for Adesanya. Like he's lost to him in kickboxing, he lost to him in MMA. Like this is supposed to be what Adesanya's thing is. He's supposed to be a better MMA fighter. Their ground game is pretty bad. I heard that Pereira is actually a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. I didn't really see that, but it should be a good fight. I'm excited for that. I'm picking Pereira. I'm thinking he's gonna get a stoppage. And what I saw in this fight, what he did in the first one, real quick, is he waited to the end. Like he survived, the early to middle, but he knew when to go ahead and exert his dominance and went out for a stoppage.
He had to save himself for the end,
and he did. As soon as that round started, bro, he came out just mowing them down.
Full fire.
He mowed him down, and I think he'll get it sooner. I think he'll get it like in 3.
Yeah, it's gonna be before 5 for sure. And I just don't think they're gonna see the 5th round at all.
Yeah. All right, so back to boxing.
Yeah,
the shit we love.
Yeah.
So Teofimo, Josh Taylor, that fight's made.
I mean, Regis Prograis being the WBC.
Yeah. So, what do you like? What do you like in that fight, Julian? I mean, I know the fight isn't yet, but what is your early predictions?
I mean, we're talking about styles make fights. I mean, that fight was. I mean, Josh Taylor took it to Dale that night. Like Josh Taylor. I mean, he's just. He took it, and Dale. I mean,
wait, I don't think they haven't fought yet.
Not them, but them. No, that Dale versus. I'm sorry, I was thinking about Josh Taylor and idiot. I'm sorry. No, but this fight right here, Dale and Taylor. Oh my goodness gracious!
This is gonna say a lot, right, about where Teo's at.
Dale's at, emotionally in boxing.
Yeah, because dude, I mean, come on, he's a talent. Like he's good, but. When you don't have your mental, and people try to deny it, but I think a majority of us see that. That's exactly what it is. There's something going on. And this is the other thing too. Switching Joey Gamach, his trainer, after the Lomachenko fight was probably one of the big things that kind of led to this bit of a downfall, or this bit of a bump in the road for his career. I think he needs to go back to what was good for him. Joey Gamach was a great coach.
Go back to basics.
He was a great coach.
He needs to go back to basics, and I think that's what wins this fight for him.
Yeah.
But like we're talking about Dale, where is he at emotionally in boxing right now? That's what I want to know. Like, I mean, he didn't look too sharp his last fight either.
No.
And Josh Taylor's been a little inactive. The last year or so, because he hasn't. been injured.
He's been hurt.
Yeah, hurt. Yeah, hurt. You know, hasn't wanted to fight a couple guys that were like what? Freaking just like a bunch of guys, you know, and it's just a whole different. I mean, this fight's gone up and down for me right here, actually, you know, and it's pretty much gonna come down to who wants it more.
Yeah, yeah. For me, same thing. I think.
I think the body attack's gonna be a
Yeah,
lot in
yeah.
this one too. I
Yeah.
mean, it's gonna the guy who goes to the body the most in this one and sets it up is gonna win this fight.
Yeah, for me, I think it's gonna come down. It's gonna definitely be a mental thing on both sides. I mean, we know how tough Josh Taylor is. Josh Taylor can get under your skin. He's a nasty son of a bitch. And I think I think he has the right mindset. He has the right game plans that I think he can offset Teofimo. Like if Teofimo comes in with very to little no distractions, he can make it a very interesting fight. But again, this is an early prediction. Things can change from here to then, but I just feel like Josh Taylor will win this fight. It is really hard to say, man, because we like Teofimo. We met him.
Yes, I do.
We say this every time.
Yeah, we met him, you know, like I said, but it's just I just don't know where he was at mentally his last fight, you know, and you know, like I respect his dad, you know, as a trainer, you know, but I just think it's time to let the pops, you know, go, you know, out of your corner. I mean, he could be there for guidance, you know, but I think he just needed. I just think he needs another trainer to. There's something missing in his game.
Like I said, bro, when he had Joy Gamach there. Joy Gamach was a good asset to his career.
Exactly. So, but I mean, they threw him out. I mean,
he got rid of him. He got. I think they said like some nutritionists, strength and conditioning coaches.
Yeah, but he's saying that they're bad for his career. But in what way?
In what way? With money? Too much money, dishing out too much money.
Yeah, I mean,
money. Speaking money, Run brought up a good point, and I think a lot of us think about this: is Top Rank cashing out Teal already?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a Don King type thing, you know. Yeah, Gil Don King though, he's signing people right now.
I mean, you can't forget either with Teal, right? When he went to Triller, he tried to get the Triller fight with Kambosos. That was a debacle. Fight didn't really happen right away.
Mess.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I feel like maybe
I think that's what kind of took him out of the game a little bit too.
Kind of double crossed Bob Arum a little bit.
Yeah. You know, and possibly. I mean, that's a good point.
Okay. We got a good question right here from a new listener, Joey. He says favorite MMA and boxer and why? Like just real quick. Who's your favorite boxer and MMA fighter?
My favorite boxer is of course gonna be Bernard Hopkins. I'm a big B Hop fan. You know, that's from, you know, past, you know, and I can't even call him past as much, but he just recently retired, 6 years ago, B Hop?
Yeah.
You know, but current, you can say Canelo. Canelo's always, everybody knows this. Everybody knows this, you know, if you're around me, everybody knows I'm a big time Canelo fan. You know, UFC fighter, my goodness gracious. You can go with the badass man, Randy Couture, you know, and that was my boy, man, Randy Couture. And of course now, I mean, John Jones, I mean, he's always been a fan favorite, but he's always been one of my favorites too. So you can say Randy Couture and John Jones have been a big favorite of mine. And
it's hard to say for me. Like I guess for me, my era. Yeah, there's so many. The one that sticks to me the most when I really got into boxing, I understood it. I was always been a fan. Like Mike Tyson has been the first fighter that I watched with my dad, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.
Yep, I mean all those guys too.
Yeah,
you know,
there's so many. I mean, I could say a couple of them real quick. I would say Chavez, of course, because that was one of my dad's favorite fighters. And then one of a current one that I was already like an adult watching was Miguel Cotto. He was another one of my favorite fighters.
If you want to say like all-time favorite, Salvador Sanchez.
Yeah, and you know what?
All-time favorite, Salvador Sanchez. You want to look up a good boxer, Salvador Sanchez. I mean, that guy right there.
Yeah.
Check him out. I mean, that guy right there, a lot of people know him. Everybody knows exactly who he is.
Yeah, for me, there's like again, you know, Joey, good question. There's so many. I got one of my new favorites, Joe Louis. I've come to really like his fights. Of course, the greatest. Yeah, yeah, and then Hagler. I think Hagler would be it. for me.
That's
Like
just a big one.
that was a that dude
There's so
was
many
good.
boxers, man, of just different eras that you can choose.
Yeah.
But
Again, Joey, you're new to to this channel.
you knew
You might
this.
be new to boxing, the MMA. YouTube is your best friend. You know, you can
Yeah,
look up
check out these fighters.
everybody and anybody from the 40s all the way to 2023, and there's good stuff. There's so much to learn from this.
There's so much to learn from boxing. Period. You can learn a lot about life too. Some of these guys have a lot of life stories. That trigger into what's gone on. Moving forward and in history.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think my MMA fighter was probably George St. Pierre, GSP, because he's got the name. My tocayo.
God.
Uh, Cain Velasquez is another good one. I think he's like one of the first Mexicans to be first heavyweight Mexican to be a badass.
And he's free, baby.
Thank God. Let me see. And then Chicano brought up a good point. Something we kind of mentioned already too is Teofimo's. He does still have a great run, and in him if he can get things right, and that just falls again onto his mental. He's still very young, so who knows? Maybe he loses this Josh Taylor fight. He takes a year off, get his mind right. Find some zen.
That's what he did last time.
Find some zen. Surround yourself around better people. Yeah, and I'm still a fan. I have no hate for that guy in my heart at all.
I don't either. The dude just, like I said, mental health ain't nothing to mess with. No. At all. But like I said, he's an overall good guy. Like I said, talked to him, got to meet him at the hotel, talked to him at the hotel.
Yeah.
But like I said, very good people.
Yeah, he does. He really does run. I do agree with you. We both agree with you that he definitely needs to do it. He's got to get it going.
Yeah, he needs to, man. Cause he's, like I said, it's just I think Dad just needs to go.
Yeah,
that's just my overall, just like thing right there. Dad needs to go.
Yeah. So, again, the topic 135 to 140. There's just so many. There's so many. It's hard to really say who's number one. And then you could even throw Matias in there now. He's a name. He's definitely another name. Regis Prograis has always kind of been there, kind of having issues with promotions and who wants to promote his fights. He does talk a lot, but dude could back it up. I believe he can back it up. I think he gets the right.
Josh Taylor. I'm sorry, he beat Josh Taylor.
I still got to go back and watch that. I believe. I believe you, Julian.
Regis won.
I believe you.
I think a lot of people believe me too.
Yeah, and then 135, of course. You have Haney with the belts. Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, Lomachenko still in there, Isaac Cruz, Shakur Stevenson fights this weekend too.
Yeah, Taiji Yoshida.
Yeah, so many names. It's just again, boxing is stacked with so many names from the very light to the heavy. The heavyweight is starting. I feel like it's kind of got. It's not fading out.
It's not fading out. It's just we want these fights to get made, and they're not doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just, I just feel this A-side bullshit's getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Can people agree with me? I just feel the A-side shit's turning into bullshit.
Yeah, and it's not just with the heavy.
It's not just the heavy. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
But Tyson Fury made it look put a little sourness in my mouth. Freaking.
All of us, bro.
The other day, and a fight we want to see. Of course, a lot of people are picking Tyson Fury to win that fight anyway. Because of size and all the other stuff.
Chicano, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
All the square of Teofimo and I know Josh Taylor and Regis.
Oh yes. Thank you.
Hey, Chicano, I've been trying to get this full on with us. Come on, Julian, please get on with us on a rescore. There's some other ones that we got to rescore.
Yeah, we should actually do that one. I want to do that one. So we should actually all freaking get on that one. So this guy could actually rewatch it.
Yeah.
Because I watched that fight about 2 or 3 times, and it's pretty clear that Regis won.
Yeah. And again, back to heavies, Usyk took the 70-30. He wanted everything that Fury was asking for. I think at the end of the day, I think we knew that's exactly what was going to happen. He called his bluff. He said, "Okay, give me 30%. You get 70," which it sounds like very little, but you knew he was still going to make out a lot off that 30%.
Exactly. That 30% is going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm pretty disgusted by the whole
Tyson
Fury thing.
Now, they're talking about, they made, I don't know how Wilder got there, but he jumped up to number 1 somehow, some way. But the WBC, I think just the sanctioning body needs to stay the hell out of it now.
Yeah.
you know, as well. I mean, it's just my opinion too. You know, just these dudes want to fight. There's the paper. Here's the dotted line. You know, just freaking here's the money thing. That's what it should be about. All the other bullshit should be taken care of after. You know, like everything. You know, all the other cosmetic bullshit after the signing. Okay, we agreed to this much money. We'll agree to all the cosmetic shit after.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's exactly how it should be. I mean, if you want to fight, you're gonna fight. If you're not gonna, if you don't want the freaking, you don't want the smoke.
Move
Obviously,
on.
you don't want to move
There's
on,
other people that want it. We know Usyk wants it. He needs one more bout. He needs one more bout. I mean,
and it's Tyson Fury.
it's Tyson Fury.
You know,
He's holding out.
You know, and it's just like
He's playing
Tyson,
games.
That's like Tyson Fury don't want it. You know, and you know, keeps calling him names, this and that. You know, I mean, what's that gonna do? You know, to get him to come? He's already agreed to your terms.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you want?
And I like Tyson Fury, but
me too. I mean,
I just think this stuff right here just irritates the shit out of me because you're holding it up. You're holding up. You're holding up this undisputed, unified, 4 division thing, and I mean, again, heavyweight division, it's pretty stacked. It is pretty stacked. I almost said that it wasn't, but I take that back.
It's pretty ugly.
It's pretty stacked right now. Joe Joyce,
my favorite right now.
He's got a fight coming up with Zhang. Should be fucking crazy.
That fight right there is that's gonna tell us where Joyce is.
Yeah,
it's gonna tell us where Zhang is.
He is. I think Joyce is where he's at. He's my new favorite heavyweight.
Yeah, I mean Joe Joyce. I mean the Juggernaut's always gonna be. I mean he's been an animal since he came in. It's his name started getting made here. You know, Daniel Dubois. We already seen Joe Joyce beat him.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Dubois, it was said that they ordered the Usyk and Dubois.
Yes, they did. They ordered that fight, but I think it's just I don't think there's any money in that fight. You know, like I mean, of course, Europeans are gonna buy it. I mean, they're all gonna buy it. I mean, they support their fighters.
Yeah.
So I mean,
there's no money in it, but I think it's still just
it's a championship thing. You know,
it's a fight.
It's a sanctioning body thing. You know, it's a fight. You know, something that has to happen. Yeah. If Alexander doesn't get the fight, get Tyson. Danny Dubois right there.
Yeah.
I mean, just make it happen and let him do what he needs to do to Dubois and make his case again.
Yeah.
And let Tyson Fury make a 4th fight with Wilder or a 10th fight with freaking Chisora. You can go on.
Yeah, I mean I don't like that very much. Yeah, it needs to happen. Tyson Fury. I mean, he does this really well. He plays really good mind games. He gets people riled up. He just likes he likes the attention, which is fine. Okay, cool. Like, Usyk, he just wants this, and I think everybody wants this. They just need to get it on and finally make it happen. I think it will eventually happen. But I think what I also heard, in which I kind of thought about after, especially with Joshua fighting this weekend, I thinking, maybe he was waiting to see what he can do with that, because that's another fight that he wants as well, is an Anthony Joshua fight.
Yeah, I mean it's a big thing in London. I mean, what don't you want to see? I mean, I would entertain a Wilder Joshua fight because I still feel that fight's big. I mean that's what we wanted back, 2015, 2016.
It was 2015.
We're calling for that fight. And that fight made sense at the time. Until Andy Reese happened. Until
a thing called Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, happened. Until I mean, he just got blasted out. And then Wilder. I mean, you try to fight Tyson Fury 3 times and you lose 3 times.
Yeah. No, but I did I say Wilder? I think I meant to say Fury was waiting to see what was going to happen. I think that's why this kind of pulled out, because I mean, again, it is money. There is belts.
Yes, there is.
And Joshua is probably number 2 to Canelo.
To making money.
To be the top paying boxer.
Exactly. He's still.
So it makes a lot of money. Makes a lot of sense business wise. Yes.
He's still a big name, and to fight for the belt too. I mean, it only makes sense as well too. I mean, I would make that fight. But I mean, like I said. I mean, Tyson Fury's a tricky guy. Mm-hmm. That's a guy right there that we can't really call. It's just like a Spence Terrence Crawford situation. But he comes out a little sooner with news. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. And speaking of another name, Joshua. I mean, what did you think of his performance? Was it what you expected?
Uh,
I know
it's
going
exact.
back to watching
It's
some of the
exact.
shows and what everybody was saying, everybody
It's
thought that Joshua was
exactly.
gonna blast him out.
That's exactly what I expected. Like Joshua's always gonna be that come forward guy. He has no movement in his body. He's a stationary guy. He has it's his power is pretty much his go to. I mean, I just don't feel him. I mean, moving forward. I mean, he's still fighting. He's fighting in 12 weeks. He already confirmed. I mean, which is good. He's gonna stay active this year. So I mean, he's trying to prove a point somehow this year to get back to where he needs to get. But he needs. I don't know, man. He just didn't look. He didn't look too well. I mean, Derek James. I mean, I felt it was a good move for him.
Hmm.
You could see a little bit of, a little bit more from Joshua, but I don't know, man. He's not the same.
Yeah,
Like
he,
he's
he
he's
looked he looked
not.
too robotic. He
Yeah,
didn't look sure of himself.
and same thing for Franklin too. You can see the same for Franklin. Franklin wasn't sharp.
No.
I mean, this fight wasn't sharp. Period. I mean, it was not sharp at all. It it really. I mean, to me, I mean, I guess learning experience for both guys. Moving forward with their careers. But Joshua, I just don't think he has it anymore. I mean, that dog, he don't have a dog in him no
Yeah.
more, and which I don't think he's ever had a dog in him really, and other than the Klitschko fight, that's a fight right there where like, okay, he can, maybe he will, maybe he'll be big, but then he had Andy Reese do what Andy Reese did to him, and he didn't get up from that. It's just like you got hit by a harder
Yeah.
punch.
Yeah, right. And Ron just said it right here too. He said Joshua doesn't throw those inside hooks anymore since Andy Ruiz.
Thank you.
It's very true because you can. I mean, you can see his whole game, his whole everything just changed once he fought Ruiz. Like he was super confident. He knew like nobody was gonna hurt him. He was in there throwing them hooks,
Yep.
and he got hit with a shot, and he got hit by Andy Ruiz, and that completely changed his game because look what happens in the rematch. He
Yeah.
he starts boxing from the outside,
Doesn't
fights
count.
Usyk, loses. Was he gonna do? Try to box
Yeah.
Usyk from the outside? I will say this though, he definitely did a lot better in the rematch against Usyk.
Yeah, he did, but Usyk knew what he had to do.
Yeah,
You
Usyk.
know, Usyk knew what he had to do. Usyk doesn't waste a lot of energy. Usyk's one of those fighters where he's not gonna waste his energy until he knows, hey, now I gotta step on. He's gonna win some. He's gonna win the early rounds, or he's gonna give. He's gonna give up some early rounds, but at the end of the day, he's gonna push forward. And that's just what Usyk does. He's just a different machine, a different kind of machine. He's a fan favorite too. And another favorite of mine too. I respect his game. I respect his country too. Respect what they're going through. And like I said, hey, it's Usyk. So let's see when you dance again.
Yeah, there's again boxing is showing that it's showing that it's stacked. There's so many fights. But I think Bam Rodriguez fights this weekend too. So there's another name. So there's so many names still in boxing. There's no reason for none of these fights to happen, but you're starting to see it now. I do think one thing is PBC is feeling this pressure, right? They're starting to feel the pressure. So they got to put these fights on. Yeah, they're making a pay-per-view, but they still want $90 for the Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia like that. That. Come on, like look at Top Rank. They're confident enough to throw a $60 pay-per-view,
Which is going to sell millions. Hell,
that
like,
right there
that's
is the
gonna
selling
sell.
point. Bob Arum knows what's going on.
They're going to sell a lot. That's via ESPN Plus PPV.
And the card on
and the card on that one's pretty stacked.
No, I'm saying the card for the Tank and Garcia.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, but you gotta love Elijah Garcia being on that card.
Besides Elijah,
Elijah Garcia. And you got to give it up to Dave Morrell. Being on there because now Dave Benavidez gets to see, hey, because I just feel he's not going to get the Canelo fight next. Everybody knows what Canelo's plan is.
It's been since last year.
It's been there since last year. So nobody could say that this is a duck or this is happening. So just I could definitely see a Morrell versus a Benavidez showdown.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know damn well Charlo's not going to fight him. I just know that won't happen. At all. But yes, they could have done a whole lot better with the undercard. I
Yeah.
believe they could have done a whole lot better.
Better matchups. There's definitely names on there
yeah,
though.
definitely big names on there. Like I said, I mean, you could keep Elijah. I mean, I would definitely keep Elijah on there because they were kidding. I mean, everybody found out about him a couple weeks back too. What he can do.
Yeah.
So
He's another tough
He's
dude.
another tough dude. Out of Arizona. Out of Phoenix. But like I said, I mean, keep an eye out for him too. He's the first fighter that night. He's fighting Zambrano that night, and it's a tough task ahead of him. But then too, I mean, he's having some aspects of being a champion too.
Yeah.
And he already has that caliber on him. But like I said, but as for the card, I mean, to see Gabriel Salo go up against the guy he's already knocked out, which was knockout of the year candidate or knockout of the year.
It's a rematch.
That's a rematch.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the guy who knocked out Cole and
the bully.
The bully. Yeah. So it's just like.
I guess you could say.
But I guess you could say it did Benavidez Plant.
Okay, hold on. I guess you could say with that one, I mean, it is a rematch. I mean, it's Gabriel Sado. Gabriel Sado is gonna give you some good shit, but again, I mean, it shouldn't. I don't know. I think out of that, I think that would be an okay fight to have on there. But again, you have the good names. You have Elijah. You have Morale. The rematch. But the matchmaking isn't that great, and there's no reason for them not to be able to put some good matchups on that card.
Exactly, but I think they wasted all their matchups on the one that 2 weeks ago, and that's the Dave Benavidez Plant card. That was a stacked card. I mean, from top to bottom, that card was just ridiculously like badass.
It really was.
A fight I wanted to see was Daniel Blancas, but he got pushed to after the fight.
Oh, did he?
He got pushed to after the main event.
Oh shit.
He still won though. He okay. So I mean, big ups to Daniel Blancas too. I mean, he can do it. And he's another one of my favorite fighters. He's in the Benavidez.
Yeah, he's in the Benavidez camp.
So I mean, he's a good kid too. I mean, he's up and comer too. So like I said, another name to keep an eye out for as well too. But yeah, definitely that card I think just stole a lot of thunder from this fight. I mean, well, from this undercard. But I know Schofield's gonna be on this undercard too.
Oh.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the card.
Floyd?
Yeah, he's gonna be on the card too, on the Tank Garcia on the card.
Okay.
So I mean, that's good. That's another good name too. I mean, to look at. So, but yeah, I mean, just kind of upsetting that they wouldn't like put, higher caliber name. I understand Morale's up there, but like to have like another co-main event, but especially since they're doing this collaboration, with PBC and Golden Boy. I mean, they got some.
You're right. That's a good point. There's definitely enough people on both sides
to make
what to say?
Both sides of the street.
Both sides of the street.
Yeah, both sides of the street. To make fights happen. And I would keep. I mean, like I said, this card right here. I mean, it's worthy. Elijah's definitely worthy of being on this card.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the world's finding out definitely who this brother is right here, man. He's a bad boy. Of course, Morale, everybody knows who he is. Everybody wants him to fight David Benavidez. I mean, I believe David Benavidez will be there.
Yeah. He will.
To see this fight.
He definitely will be there.
And, it's just the whole point after that fight, is how his performance looks and what he feels he's going to do after the fight. I mean, we don't know. I don't know.
I think it's a good timing for him to have that fight, especially after Benavidez just finished fighting. It's enough time for them to kind of heal up, and I mean, depending on if Morale goes through hell, which we know he's not. Like he's a great, good fighter all around. Even though he has under 10 fights, there's just phenoms like that sometimes. They come around a couple times. I would say he is a little bit green. He's a little untested, but the eye test is always the eye test passes. He definitely shows what he can do. He's quick, southpaw, Cuban, great amateur background, so that should be good. I got one more topic really quick before we go ahead and head out and finish up. The main event with the Jesus Ramos and Spencer of that card, Benavidez and Plant. Again, man. Julian, what did you take away from this?
What I took away from this is that when they call Benavidez the monster, he meant it. In the second half of this fight, he actually showed me a whole lot more, a lot more, grit, in this fight, because the early rounds, you could see that Plant was having his way with him a little bit, like winning the early rounds, but we're used to seeing David kind of give up, some early rounds, or, because we're not used to seeing him come out fast either. He turned it on though. Second half of the fight, I say fifth round through the rest of the fight. He just put a hurting on Caleb. And you saw it on Caleb's face. Yes, one of them had to do with it was like a clash of heads, I believe. It actually cut him open.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, still, it's like you see it on Caleb's face. The damage, the amount of damage David put on him. And I would have liked to see David go to the body a whole lot more. That's his game. Body, pick him apart, come back, and counter. I mean, that's when you start, and that's your game. That's your game. And as for Plant, you got to give it to Plant, man. The homie took it. He stayed in there all 12 with dude. I mean, Plant's been in there with two of the best now.
Yeah.
With two of the best now, but I just feel Kenny Bayless kind of jacked that whole thing up for his Benavidez to get a knockout.
Yeah.
I really do think, yes, I do agree with him on that big time. Kenny Bayless really pissed me off that fight. I don't think I want to see him referee a fight for a while. After that.
Damn,
but,
you know what? And I just took a picture with that guy too at the Chocolatito.
Respect. I respect him. I respect the dude.
He's definitely a top.
He's been around, but that fight right there. We've all known that Kenny Bayless isn't the kind to let you hold on. Kenny Bayless is quick to separate you. Kenny Bayless is quick to warn you. That's Kenny Bayless. That's been Kenny Bayless for the last 30 years.
And the thing about it with the warning, Caleb Plant didn't get no warning.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't. For low blows, nothing like that. Caleb Plant was freaking holding. That's a lot of holding in that fight. Yes, definitely a lot of holding.
I will say too. There was. I will say there's a couple
taste.
Moments too that he did let Benavidez kind of fight out of it, but not enough. Definitely not enough. For Benavidez to fight out of, but again,
he tried to make Benavidez uncomfortable. That's what it was.
Yeah, you know what? I actually, I'm gonna say this. I did watch this fight again earlier, like about an hour before we started, and that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like he was trying to use his experience.
Exactly.
He tried to see if he can take him off, and it didn't work. Benavidez made adjustments. That's one thing I will say that I did like is he did make adjustments. He didn't come out slugging. He didn't come out trying to take his head off. And you saw what he was trying to do. I think what we got from this too is he showed that there's a different fold to my game. I can actually box a little bit from the outside.
Be patient.
Yeah, and he was very patient. Yes, he did jab. I don't think he jabbed enough.
Exactly,
not enough. Body shots would have been nice. Another thing would have been nice is not letting Caleb Plant hold you. So I think that's the other thing too. It showed a little bit of the inexperience that he could have done. He could have used more lateral movements. He could have jabbed more. He could have, half step.
He had a lot of angles that he could have. That was like, dude, throw.
Yeah.
Throw, right there. He's right there. But, but it's different when you're in the ring. A lot of that stuff you can't see. But I know he's going to say, he's probably going to say the same thing. And he watches his own film, shit,
exactly
why didn't I throw right there?
You're never satisfied. Yeah, you're never satisfied. You're never satisfied with your performance, no matter what it is. If you're a boxer, you're a basketball player,
you want to be better. You want to be
an entertainer. You always go back. You're like, damn it, I could have done that, and that's fine.
You want to be the best,
and that's totally fine.
Everybody wants to be the best. We understand that whole thing. We understand the point of the zero. That's what the zero is about. Nowadays, the best.
Yeah.
But I just feel in this era right now. You're either putting up your damn zero right now in your belt or nothing at all, and that's the thing that sucks about the Tank Garcia fight. We can't say that about that fight. We can't, but against people like this, going to this fight, Dave Benavidez is hungry. He's at the right time of his career. Yes, we want to see the Canelo fight, but we're not going to get that fight.
Yeah, at least not this year.
It's not this year.
Yeah.
At least not this year. But yeah, that fight's looming, of course. That fight's boiling. Like a lot of other fights have boiled.
That's
at
fine.
times. Which is fine. But this one right here, I just feel. He's gonna stay busy this year, David.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna stay busy. He's not gonna be like a one fight a year this year. He's gonna fight at least twice, maybe 3 times, maybe.
He already has a 3-fight contract, and the thing is, he's actually signed this before
The Canelo fight.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
the last year he
so
extended his
we've
career.
already known that he's gonna fight 3 fights at PBC.
Hmm.
You know, we've known this. So I mean, morale only makes sense. Charlo makes sense. And yeah, I mean, this
I said
Boo makes
this.
sense.
Yeah, exactly. I said this on the show with Chicanos. We said, you know what could be next, and I want to see the Andre fight. Julian knows, Chicano knows that. I'm not saying I was a big Andrade fan, but at the moment, maybe a year, 2 years ago, like I really wanted to see more from him.
Well,
But now it's at this point where I'm just like, you know what, dude, it's like you're not doing anything. If you want to stay active, fight Benavidez. Like,
how big of a Boo Boo fan was I when we started this thing?
yeah,
Like honestly, like how big? Like I was very high on Boo Boo Andrade, you know, until like he started taking these crap fights, like till he wasn't signed. Like it's just like I said, management. We talked about this before. I think management has a lot to do with it.
yeah.
Pushing
And he's even admitted that he made some
some
wrong
mistakes.
moves. Yeah,
Exactly. Yes.
and I wouldn't say he ducked. He just says he made some wrong mistakes and not capitalizing on
Because
certain fights.
the Ryder fight should be where he's at right now. I mean, a lot of people agree with that too. Like, but you wanted more money against a guy. Like, why not wait? Just take the money you're gonna
Mhm.
take right here. You're gonna make your cat. Now look at Ryder. How much was Ryder making this fight? Like 5 million.
There you go.
Like, come on, man. Like that would have been your biggest payday, bro.
Yeah.
Like that would have been your biggest payday of your career. Probably, man. But
I knew. Wait, hold on. I knew this was coming. I knew Chicano would bring this up one day, and yeah, I did say it. I did say it. I'm not gonna deny it. And I even said too that I didn't say Andrew was gonna win.
This is hilarious because I've heard this too.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, Julian knows too. I just said that I felt like he could have. Then I think it was like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, but and I never said Andrade would win. I just felt like Andrade was a southpaw. Yeah, I just felt like Andrade, a southpaw. I don't know, but now it is just showing like even more that he just would not be able to. Like I said, I'm a fan of boxing first. I try not to be
I try not to
like
be
a
biased or
yeah. I try not to be like a hardcore one person. I like Canelo. I like Andrade. I like everybody. Like I said, it's just now moving forward. Like Benavidez is the guy. So like I want to see Benavidez succeed. I want to see him get the fights he wants to get. And it's time for Andrade to. I don't wish no harm on him, but Andrew right now is Benavidez' time.
Yeah, and it's time for. I mean, Andrade, you're pretty much at this point a 35-year-old prospect in a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, run exactly 154. I guess I was more I was more on the 154 160 Andrade.
Yeah,
not 168.
Yeah, but I mean, like we said, he couldn't sell himself at that weight, even though he was champion, correct?
Yeah.
At that time?
WBO.
Yeah, he was WBO. But I just feel he just wasn't signing himself at the time. And at that time, Canelo was already a star. So at that point, too, Canelo could fight whoever the freak he wants to, just like now. He could fight whoever he wants to because he's already undisputed. I mean, the guy really doesn't have to prove anything else.
Yeah,
honestly.
and the argument always is why didn't he unify at that division?
Yeah, exactly. That's always going to be the argument. I mean, yes, I can admit this. He lost to Lara. Okay, I've seen that fight a couple times too.
Wow.
All right, I've seen that fight a couple times. Where I had to bite my tongue. I had to draw at one point a couple times. But there's a point right there too where I have Lara just winning 7-5. But like I said, this is boxing. That's happened before.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen upsets before. We've seen Mayweather get upset, but still came out victorious. This isn't new. This isn't new. But like I said, hey, this is boxing. This is what we love. This is what we do. This is what we talk about.
Yeah. And look at so real quick. You got a couple comments. Of course, Run. He says, Andrade is his own problem. Yes. He went through Banner, Star Boxing, Matchroom, and now PBC. It seems like it's the common denominator. And yes, I will say yes. And then me and Julian, of course, discussions. I feel like I said, him going to PBC.
And I talked about Star Boxing too.
Yeah.
I talked about that.
and I said, with him going to PBC, like I even said, look, he's got to from here on out. After that last fight he had, like there can't be no more tune-ups. There can't be no more, step ups. It's like you have a pretty decent stable at 168, at 160 with the PBC. So
160 just loaded on all stables. I mean, 160, 168, you have names everywhere.
yeah. And then let me see. Yeah, you're right. Yes, Chicano. I've never seen what others seen in Andre Drew. Evil, our homie Philly Drew. He is high on him. Yes, he is. But I always respect my homie's opinions. Thank you very much, Chicano. Um, yeah, true. And then I think Chicano's giving you his score on the Lotto. He had Chicano 7-5. I mean Canelo 7-5.
I respect that too because that's how I had it.
Run.
As I had it the first 2 times I watched it, and then just keep watching it and watching it. It's just like you start catching more and more things in that fight, bro. So I mean, if you want to rewatch it again, I mean, I'll rewatch it again and rescore it. I will.
Okay, and then Run. As long as I've known Run, he's always stated that Lotto beat him. So he said either had a 9-3 or 8-4 for Lotto. Yeah. Sniper left hands all night long.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a Nello fan, hardcore. A lot of people, everybody knows this. Everybody knows this, and for me to say that, man, I mean, we all know what Mayweather did to him, to a young Canelo, but this is a different Canelo now.
Yeah,
for sure. We know that. But like I said, I mean, the records speak still. The record's still speaking. It still only has 2 losses, so Canelo won. Okay. End of the day, Canelo won.
Yeah, you can't say nothing bad about his career right now. People are gonna say what they want to say, but those are just narratives, and people just don't understand. Exactly. But yeah, I think Benavidez definitely has something going for him. Like I said, I watched it earlier. It just looked like that. He just made adjustments. There were some things I think he could have done more, and I think when he goes back to the drawing board, watches the tapes, he sees, he knows what he's got to do. Again, I don't think that fight's gonna happen this year either. But Canelo did say the Bivol fight don't go through this year. That
he wants it.
He wants it. So
he even said it too. He never shot it down, and even David had said it too that he didn't shoot it down. No. It's just they already know what they're doing business wise already. They already know their stables have something planned. So I mean, Canelo's a free agent, but Canelo's still with Matchroom. Doing his thing with them.
That's very true.
So I mean, he still has 2 fights with Matchroom.
I'm not too sure. I know definitely the writer.
I think it's 2 or 3 fights. I think it's 2 or 3 fights left with Matchroom. So we'll find out. It's gonna be a fun one, in the coming. I'd say I think next year. I'm not saying early next year, but I'm thinking possibly September. We're gonna get those 2 to dance.
The Benavidez and Canelo. Yeah, and in my theory on it,
and I really think Benavidez is gonna take out 2 of the highest profiles 160s.
Yeah.
Which would probably most likely be Bubu Andrade and Morrell or Charlo, if Charlo wants to smoke.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna plug my thing in real quick. I thought it was plugged in this whole time. All right. Sorry about that. But yes, so with the Benavidez and Canelo, I think what I will think, I guess 2 things. I think the fight, if it was to happen, I feel like Canelo had the choice to make it now. I think he should make that fight now.
I think he's so too. Because Dave Benavidez is only gonna get better.
Yeah, and the good thing is, I think Benavidez respects Canelo enough to not try to age him out, and Canelo is a side. Yeah, he's the business guy, so he knows. Yeah, he's not gonna. He won't let that happen. I think he'll know in himself. I make this fight needs to happen.
Exactly.
But yeah, you're right. I think most of us think that too. Is that if he waits a little bit longer for Benavidez showed an adjustment.
That's why I think the fight needs to happen by next year. If it doesn't happen by next year, then Canelo gets blasted after that. That's just an opinion. That's just where I see him moving. Everybody's gonna go after that fight. Looks slow, this and that. Yeah. No, he did not.
No, you know what the cool thing too is, you have the term passing the torch. Like, could this be
the passing of the torch?
Could this be passing of the torch?
We never know. It's happened in boxing plenty of times.
Yeah.
And like I said, I support Canelo big time. Whatever that guy does, wherever he fights, I'm never really never gonna go against him. So I mean, there's a pretty high probability I'm going against. I'm gonna go against you. You know, if you're Frank Canelo. You know, so and you know right now.
All right, yeah. Well, Julian, hey
Hey, man.
guys, you know,
Hey,
thanks for
man.
coming on with the show. You know, everybody in the chat, of course, the homies as always, Chicano Run,
And everybody,
G Funky,
man.
D Styles,
We got to get that rescore on for sure on Chicano, dog. For sure, bro.
Chicano. You heard him.
I'll definitely do that, bro. I mean, I would do the Taylor Regis Pro Grade fight and maybe a couple others.
Yeah, we took kind of a little you know, we took a little bit of a break from it. We were doing rescoring. We're even doing some old fights from back in the day.
Heck yeah.
Fights of the night.
Yep.
I mean, fight of the years from like the 40s up to. We didn't get very far, but there was some pretty cool stuff. That's where I learned of Joe Louis being, you know,
being the Brown Bomber.
The Brown Bomber, man. We learned some cool stuff
that
about
was
him.
a great boxer.
Yeah, man, some cool stuff. And just do it, guys. You know, let's just get into doing some rescoring, man. Run, Nopal, of course, the homie Nopal. Everybody. Man. Thanks for coming on to the show, guys.
Yeah, for the new guy, freaking Joey. I appreciate you.
Yeah, Joey, thanks for coming by. Yeah, we got some interviews coming up real quick, or we got some interviews in the future.
Yeah, most likely they're coming up here pretty soon. You know, I won't announce nothing yet, but they're coming up here freaking. But once you get them confirmed, I'll definitely, you know, I'll be posting about it.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I'm hoping we get a couple people on, you know, from a couple other channels too. You know, like I said, my buddy Brandon Walker, he can hopefully come on too pretty soon too. You know, chat it up. Guy knows his shit, and you know, like I said, a bunch of other guys, man, just around here, local talents, and you know, local boxing owners too, man.
Yeah, hey, that's one thing for sure is we definitely do love our locals and
no, we definitely love our
guys.
locals, as you can tell too. I mean, we mention them all the time.
Yeah, we interview them.
You know, we love anybody Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anybody from Arizona. I mean, to get our love, man. Because like I said, I mean, it's not easy to make it anywhere in anything. I mean, a lot of people, I mean, would die to be in your situation.
Yeah.
You know, and us right here, we get to talk, you know, to some of you, and you know, it's an honor to us.
Yeah. Yep,
you know,
exactly.
It's an honor to us, you know, but that you guys give us your time.
Mm-hmm. And then Chicano asked if there's like a date for the event. We don't really have a date quite yet.
You know, I'm figuring late October. You know, when it gets a little cooler down here, you know, in Arizona, because Arizona heat's pretty gnarly.
And that'll give us enough time to really post some stuff, get some more sponsors,
you know,
work our way there,
and actually get people here. You know, from like I said, from Califas, from everywhere in Arizona. You know, like I said, everybody. I mean, even if you're not from California, I mean, if you want to come down, even to be a part of the event, I mean, we would not mind it at all.
And the thing too is, we're not a very big channel, but we're starting to catch some wind here. We got some famous boxer people that we do talk to.
Yeah.
Carlos Jackson, can't forget Carlos Jackson.
No, that dude's always been a cool guy.
Yeah, so that's one guy we definitely. I haven't talked to him in a while, but
no, he's been doing his thing too.
Ruiz too. Adelera, I hit her up.
She just won recently, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago she just won.
Yeah, so we have some people. Maybe we could try to maybe hit them up. Maybe they can come on. Maybe you guys can meet these people. That'd be cool. Of course, Jesus Ramos up the street.
Yeah, get a fanfare. Get some. Have the community. Meet Arizona stars. Meet Arizona's new upcoming stars. Meet Arizona's amateurs. Meet California's up and coming stars and amateurs.
Exactly.
This is viewership for the kids. This is going to be and the boxing event that we want to host is going to be an amateur event. So, I mean,
trophies,
trophies,
car show, food,
family event over, and it's just going to be a good time. But like I said, I mean, I'm shooting for October, and it's looking pretty good right now.
Hey, and then by then, we know. I just tell you this: Chicano's gonna be moving down here to AZ too, so we can get another person on this panel here, and some more names and some more people to get this going, and it would be great to have all this. Julian, great show, guys. Thanks for coming on, tuning in to Off the Ropes as always.
Everybody, man, but you know what time it is, man. We got to log out, get back to the familias.
Yeah.
But definitely to the next time. But definitely won't be a long time. Tell you that right now. But for sure, man, we'll get you guys the next show. Appreciate everybody coming on. Boxing World, Tucson, Arizona. We love y'all.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good night.